So do you remember what we are meditating? Anyone remember it from the boys' side? Yes. Brother, give a opportunity to young children first. Any young children who remember it? Nobody remembers, sir. Uncle already told the answer. Okay, Blessy, tell me. Big lady there. What is answer? Very good. Very good. We are meditating the fear of the Lord. So about the fear of the Lord, we are meditating, right? And I told you, I gave you one challenge also. How many of you remember the challenge? Just raise your hand. I will ask. How many of you remember the challenge? First of all, do you remember that I gave you a challenge to do? Does anyone remember it? Yes or no? Okay, only one brother and one couple of brothers remember it. Yeah, of course. Every day I remember it, I remind me in the house. So you cannot lift your hand. Okay, if you don't remember, how do you glorify God? Tell me the answer. If you don't remember, how do you glorify God? Yes or no? Yes, right? You don't know how to glorify God, isn't it? Okay, so today I there is a testimony time. I want one person to come here and talk about how they implemented this challenge in their life. Do you know who is it? Any guess? Krupa. Krupa, come. The challenge is I did not do it because I fear God. This is the challenge I told you to implement in your life, right? So at least once in a life, at least once, have you ever tried to, think about it and try to implement it? Because the other day, sister told me, that very happily she told about, how Krupa implemented it. So I thought, okay, I think we should give her an opportunity to say how she implemented it in her life. Krupa, please go ahead.
Party, but I didn't want to attend because I fear God. And I know I'm a Christian, so I couldn't attend all those things. Even that even belongs to Satan. So I got the fear of God. So that's why I didn't. I don't want to attend that party.
Very good. Krupa. Anything else you want to share? That's it? Okay, thank you. So praise the Lord. See, we can see, right. It is as simple as that. We can display in our life how we can implement this in small things. You don't need to be. See, once you start implementing it in a small things, right? Then when you grow, it will become a habit to you. Actually, if you don't do that, it will be very difficult to cultivate this habit. So at least small things, once in a while, if you start doing it, so it will be keep on, getting at your back. Then you can always remember, oh, I should not do it, whether I should do it or whether I should not do it. Then, like what our dear sister Kripa shared, right? It will bring great joy to who? To God the Father, isn't it? So Father will be very pleased when he see that his children are taking a stand. Correct? You see, what did Joshua told to the Israelites at the end of a chapter, at the end of the book? Do you know? He also told them on a specific kind of challenge, right? What did he told? I don't care whom you serve, but as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. So it's a very bold statement, because the moment you say that, I request everyone to pray for Krupa, okay, so that because she will hold it and she will continue to display that. So if when we give a testimony like that, right, everybody will start to look at us, then they will try to find fault, or even Satan also wants to shake us and see how he can bring us away from God. So that's why the testimonies are very important in a Christian life. Okay. So the other day also I asked one brother, whether you want to share the testimony. They are very reluctant actually. I don't know why. Okay, but I think all the young children who are here, right? You are saved means you must have a testimony. You cannot anyhow say, oh, I saved and I don't know what my testimony is, or I forgot my testimony. No. You must remember. That is how you bring glory. Okay? What work has God done in your life? You must remember it. How you saved. How were you earlier? And how you are now. How He changed your life. So those kind of testimonies you must share with everyone so that everybody will get encouraged. The reason why I brought Kripa here is basically for every one of us to get encouraged. It's not that to show her she's doing great and the rest are not good, not like that. So it's basically for every one of us to get encouraged. How a small child can implement, we all can implement in our life. It is not a big deal. Now the next question, right? This is an informal quiz session. So, where is it written in the Bible, about this part, or whatever I shared about the challenge? Which chapter, which verse I told you? Do you remember? I said, I took a verse from the Bible where it was written, I did not do it because I fear God. Isn't it? Huh? Very good. No gifts, huh? Okay. Nehemiah, where? Which part of Nehemiah? Which part of Nehemiah? Anyone? Any boy, boys or girls? Even adults also you can say, because which part of Nehemiah? Let's read Nehemiah chapter 5 and verse 15, 1 5. Please remember this by heart, especially the young children, right? You remember this, the last part of 15, verse 15. Nehemiah chapter 5, the last part of verse 15. Here, Nehemiah is declaring, that, but I did not do so because of the fear of God. What did he say? Can you all read together? The last part? But I did not do so because of the fear of God. So, in other words, what he is telling is, I could not do like what the worldly people are doing. I could not do like what the others are doing because of the fear of God. Because I fear God so much, that's why I dare not to do it. Now, in other words, right, if you, I don't know, maybe I think I started sharing this one in last December. It's almost 8 months. So if you haven't started thinking about it, implementing it, right, I think don't waste time. At least start doing small things, whether how you show forth that you are fearing God, because you must be a role model to the other believers. You must be supporting the other believers, right? How can you do that if you don't do it? Isn't it? Yes. Okay. Now, today, I think we all saw how many people God helped them, because how they gave the testimony about how they feared God and all, right. But I want to ask one more question today. Uh, Tell me anything from the Bible, right? What will you get when you fear God? Anything. There's an open-ended question. Huh? Sister, young children first. Please, please. You must tell with the verse, huh? Don't anyhow say, hey, I know this, then. Sorry? Very good. Proverbs 1:7. Let us read it all together. What is it? The fear of the Lord is beginning of knowledge. Okay, how come? Nobody is reading. Yeah, please, all read together. Everyone read together. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. Yeah, and similarly, Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 10. Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Now, to all the young children, right? Do you want to be wise or not? Yes or no? I think you're all sleeping. You just shake your. Uh, you need to shake yourself. Okay, please. I cannot hear loudly. Please, louder. Do you want to be wise or not? Yes or no? Okay. What is opposite of wise? So if you never shouted just now, then it means that you want to be what? Okay, it's just a joke. Okay, don't take it seriously. And everybody wants to be wise, isn't it? Yes or no? Everybody wants to be wise, right? Or in another words, we can say, is there anyone who wants to be fool? You can raise your hand. No, correct? So everybody wants to be wise, whether you are small or whether you are big. You can understand Telugu, right, brother? The English you can understand, right? Okay. So, whoever you are, you always wants to be wise. Say, for example, you are in a conversation with your friends, okay? One example I can say, okay, maybe you're talking about, the football. You're in a group of friends, okay, and everybody knows about football and you don't know football. So how do you feel? What is your feeling? How do you feel about that? Evi, how do you feel? Yeah, being left out, but you looks like, you try to make up thinking or something you'll say, so that you also wants to. Everybody must think that, oh, he also know about football, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes, right? Or anything. Say for example, any conversation, right? You don't want anyone to know that you don't know it. Yes or no? Whether we know it or not, we will keep talking. I think there are some people who are very gifted in talking, They talk non-stop. Anything under the sun actually. So so people, everyone wants to show forth as a wise person. Yes or no? Blessy? Yes? Yes, right? Okay. Even the fool also wants to be shown as a wise person, That's what the word says. If you keep his mouth shut, everybody will think that, oh, he is also a wise person. Have you ever read that in Proverbs? Yes, right? So what happens even if the fool, if he keeps his mouth shut, everybody thinks that, oh, he's like a yogi, he's like a sage, who keeps his mouth shut. He opens only once in a while when he. I think I think sisters know what I'm talking. So they speak very little words. Everybody will think that, oh, he's such a knowledgeable person, such a wise person, right? So even a fool also can deceive. So in the end, right, what actually it means is everybody wants to be wise. Everybody wants to have. So if they are wise, which means that they have wisdom, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes, right? They have wisdom. Now the question is, how will you get this wisdom? How will you get this wisdom, and how will you consider it as wise? I said right. These are all informal quiz questions. Huh? So yeah, how will you need to tell me the verse? Okay, don't tell me just out of the sky. I just pluck here and there, and just say that. How will you get? How will you become wise? Okay, anyone? Okay, what does wisdom means to you? Sorry, uncle. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. I think uncle, you are too experienced, uncle. So okay. In other words, let me take a step back. Okay. Sorry, I need to look at the time. Okay. What does wisdom mean to you? What does wisdom mean to you? I think I can call the roll call. You can you can answer. Anyone wants to say? Volunteer. What does wisdom means to you? I think Ezra will say. Ezra. No, general, in general. You don't look at the word. I'm asking you in general, right? What does wisdom mean to you? I want you to think about it, okay? Think about it and tell me what does wisdom mean to you. And don't say, Uncle, I know wisdom, I know wise, I know what to be wise, but I don't know what is the meaning of it. Sorry? అక్క అర్థం కాలేదు. Sorry. Hating iniquities? Okay. Okay. Discernment between right and wrong. Okay, good. Okay. Anything else? Okay. I'll give you an example. I think you'll understand from this. Okay. In this world, right? Say, for example, if you take our congregation here itself, right? In general, who do you think, let's not take a congregation, let's take in the world, right? Who do people consider wise actually? Say, for example, you have in your family, okay, you have four generations of people. Okay, you have your great grandfather, your grandfather, then your father, then you. Who do people in your family consider as wise or who have a lot of wisdom? Sorry? Yes. In other words, right? Who will have a lot of experience. They have gone through so many things, or they have seen so many things. Then they can share their knowledge with you. So that's why in Proverbs chapter 1 it says knowledge. In Proverbs chapter 9 it says wisdom. Right? It's all interchangeably used. So it's a knowledge and the wisdom both are all almost same. So what does Bible talks about this knowledge? How does what is this knowledge definition from the Bible? Anyone reads Job chapter 28 and verse 28 quickly? Very easy to remember. Huh? You can take it as your memory verse. Job chapter 28 and verse 28. Anyone can read it, Telugu? See, enough. So, what is the definition of wisdom from the Bible? It is not whether you have a lot of experience, or whether you are old, or whether you have a lot of degrees, or whether you have done PhD. It doesn't matter. What is the definition of the wisdom from the Bible? The fear of the Lord is wisdom. Just now you all acknowledge that everybody wants to be wise, isn't it? Correct? So the if you want to be wise, the only way to get the real wisdom is to fear the Lord. When you fear the Lord, you will be wise. If you don't fear the Lord, even if you have PhD, you are considered as fool inside in front of in the God's sight. I hope you are able to understand, right? So, if you don't have the fear of God, even though you are quite doing well in your education, or whether even if you become a PhD, or you are doing a research, lot of stuff, right? Or you go to very famous colleges, it doesn't matter. God will consider it as you are a fool. What will you say? God will call you as fool. So I think I don't know how many of you follow the recent trends in the universities and all, right? If you see all the intellects right in the world, all the Harvard University or so and so university, right? I think God will definitely. We all consider most of the people consider them as the most elite people. They are the most wise people because they went to such and such a college. Very difficult to go there, and everybody will think they are very wise people. Correct? But God may call them foolish if they don't have the fear of God. But if you see, right, in the most of the US universities, most of the universities, right, nowadays we see there is no fear at all. Nowadays there is no fear about, the God, they don't care about God. So you also, right, might face such a situation in your schools, in your colleges, right, because whatever happens in one college, it will easily go to the other one, right? It won't stay at one place. Okay, I think you might have seen a lot of stuff in your in your schools, isn't it? I know they may be talking about LGBTQ, they may be talking about something else, right? Which are the latest trends, or maybe they are talking about the river to the sea, right? What is it? What is it? Yeah, they are supporting Hamas. They are talking against the people of Israel. So these are all the trends that are going around in the world. And these are all starting where especially these are all starting in the very elite colleges, very very top end colleges. I don't know how many of you follow the news. Few months back, all the I think Harvard president and Columbia University president also, right? They were they went to the they were questioned by the US senators because how they are changing the people's mind right in their colleges to turn against Israel, to turn against the people. They are like how they become pro anti God. Okay, so all these things, right? They're all starting at the very very high end universities. So it doesn't stop there. It will come to you. One day you also might be able to facing this right next to you with your friends, or with a group of people whom you're chatting, or with a group of people whom you're going out. So all these things, right, will come in your front one day, in your footstep, I mean, near your door one day. Maybe now you are in a secondary schools, right? Most of the people here. So later you might be going to colleges. And the colleges, you don't know how the people will be there. Yes, it is true that there are some people, there are small remnant people also there in the colleges, but the percentage is very very less. So God will call them foolish, even though they are quite outstanding performance in their academics, right? Why? Because the definition, they don't have the fear of God. So, what I want you to understand is there is a difference between the worldly wisdom and the godly wisdom. There is a difference between worldly wisdom and the godly wisdom, right? Whatever we consider wise, he will consider foolish. Where is it written? In 1 Corinthians, I think we all know, right? About how the foolish, the wise people are despised, and he has chosen the foolish people of the world. Because the so-called wise people, they rejected God, and they don't have fear of God. So that's why they have chosen you and me. Even though we are fools in the world, right? He has called us. Now, when you start to fear the God, He will give you a certificate saying that, yes, my son is wise, is wise. Or My daughter is wise. You see, the Proverbs, if you read first 7 verses, right, it talks about, very beautifully about the wisdom and wise, right? First 7 verses I'm reading out. These first 7 verses talks about what is the objective of the Proverbs. What is the objective of Proverbs? You know, right? There's a purpose for everything, isn't it? So even there must be a synopsis, like what you are going to share in future. I think they'll just in Telugu they call it as Upodgatam. I think it's I don't know what you call it in English, but they'll just give a simple, summary of what actually the prompts is in the first 7 verses. Huh? So let's read it. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning, and the man of understanding will attain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and an enigma, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise and wisdom and instruction. See, week after week, we are getting reminded, not only about the fear of God, maybe many things, right? It could be different topics. You are the brothers standing here, right, and they are sharing about their experience, or they are encouraging in many ways, right? It is all God is, very lovingly bringing all these wise words or wisdom to you. And if you reject it, what is God is calling? Verse 7, last verse. All the young children, can you read loud? All the young children, read loud. Seventh verse, last portion. See, fools despise wisdom and instruction both. Instruction also, huh? Because we are teaching you, maybe someone is was standing here, right? They're teaching you many things. If you say, it's okay, it's not for me, or it's okay, I'll do it some other time, or it's okay, I still have some time, right? Then according to the word, what are you? You tell to yourself, okay, if you're doing it, it's very good. Huh? If you're not following, then you have to call yourself. Okay? So the very important aspect is everybody wants to be wise in the world. Everybody. There is not even a single person, right? Maybe people like children like Abraham, right? They don't know anything, so they cannot answer. But the moment you grow up, you start to understand, you start to visualize everything, right? They want to become wise, right? So when we want to become wise, the only way for a believer to become wise is you must have the fear of God. Okay. Now, now based on this definition so far, right? Do we have the wisdom or not? Yes. Okay. If you still doubt it, okay, we can go back to James chapter 1 and verse 5. We can go back where? James 1 and 5. Let's read it all together. James 1 and 5. I want all the boys to read loud. All the boys. James 1 and verse 5. You half verse you slept already. Louder, louder. Okay, now girls, verse 5, read out louder. I think you are murmuring. I don't know, maybe it is the food which is causing the problem. Okay, see, it is possible that we lack wisdom sometimes. Okay, don't deceive ourselves saying that I'm wise, I fear God. Okay, so it is okay, that even now, right? If you still lack wisdom, God is openly telling you. What is He telling? If anyone lacks of you, you don't go here and there. Okay, don't read this book, don't read that book. Okay, in the world, how will you get knowledge? How will you get wisdom? You keep reading books. This book, that book, this textbook, that textbook, this research book. How they did it, how they did this, how they did that, and so many things they need, right? But the word says, if you need the real wisdom, first thing is you need to fear God. Okay, but for fearing God, also what you need to do? You must go and ask His help. He's expecting you to come to Him and ask Him for what blessing? What is He asking? Yes, help. So that's why he is very clearly written in verse 5 that if any of you lacks wisdom, if you lack wisdom, don't run here and there. Come to God. Go to God. And what happens? Let him ask of God who gives to all liberally and without reproach. I think in Telugu it says త్రోసివేయు అన్నదా తెలుగులో verse 5 చదవండి ఒకసారి. He don't scold, he don't say like this, hey, why you always come to me asking this thing? Why you always come to me asking that thing? Oh, you don't have any other work, is it? He's not going to scold you. And moreover, what he's telling, he will give liberally. Liberally means what? Dharalaga means it's like overflowing, you cannot even hold it. If you take a bowl and you put it under a tap, right? After some time, what happens? It will overflow, isn't it? Can it hold the entire water in your tank? No, right? Yes or no? Or you're sleeping already? Yes or no? Yeah. So what happens? It will start to overflow, right? So we also like that actually. When God starts to give, right, it will overflow. We cannot even, contain it. So that is how he is giving. I'll just give one small example, right? I don't know maybe you might have heard this story. One young girl, right? Maybe like a small girl, like maybe Abraham or Krupa, right? They went to a shop. Okay? I think I told you this one sometime back, or you might know this. So there is an offer, okay? Offer is take as many chocolates as you want. Okay? What is the offer? Kripa? Yeah, you are listening, I know, very good. Okay. So take as many chocolates as you want. Okay. So, Mark, what will you do if you are asked to do that? Do you understand the question? What is the offer? Take as many? Oh, chocolates, yes. So what will you do? Huh? Yeah, but what is as many means? How will you take? One, two, three, 10? How will you take it? Chocolate uncle chana. Later. We'll buy later, okay? So, yeah. Joel, what will you do? If you go to a shop, they said take as many chocolates as you want. What will you do? But how will you take? You cannot carry bags, okay? You cannot do anything. You just go there and take as many chocolates. What will you do? Ah. Okay. Let's see what will you do. Ah, put in the pockets. Very good. Okay. So you know what this girl did, right? She is just waiting, she's just waiting. Then the shopkeeper came and asked, hey, why are you not taking the chocolates? Because it is free. I'm giving it for free. Take as many as you want. She said, my hands are very small until you give me the chocolates. What she said? Uncle, my hands are very small. So if I take, I'll get only maybe two or three. You give me chocolates, as many as you like. Then I'll take as many as you and then I'll go. So exactly right. Our God also, when we depend on Him, right, He will give in such a way that it will overflow beyond our understanding. It will overflow beyond our understanding. That's why here it is telling very clearly the character of God also, right? If you go and ask Him, He's not telling, oh, since you believed, I'm going to give you wisdom from today onwards. Is He saying like that? Yes or no? No, right? You have to go and ask Him. You have to go and ask Him. Then He will give for everyone who is going to ask Him beyond our understanding, beyond what we can comprehend. And He's not even scolding also, right? So reproach means yatimpaka, which means that He don't rebuke us. Hey, why you want wisdom? It's okay. You be there. He's not telling like that, right? So if anyone lacks, and it will be given to him. So definitely you will receive. That is what the word says. Correct? With the message. You understand, right? You ask, you will be given. You ask, But what ask? What you need to ask? Lord, give me 100 marks in my maths exam. Lord, give me 98 marks in the science exam. Lord, let me get the first rank in my school. Is that what? Fear of God. Because for you to fear God, you must have His help. Okay? Like what we heard in the morning message, right? What I really want to share. The Spirit which is dwelling in you will help you to obey. And for you to do that, you must have some help. You cannot do it on your own. And the only way is you go and ask God, He will help you. But at the same time, right? It's like what you are asking God, that is the first step you are taking. That is you have to initiate. In the same way, you must take the stand and you must initiate saying that I must fear God. I must fear God. I don't know how many of you remember when Paul Jacob uncle came. Actually, he shared something actually. Yeah? I think there is a youth meeting in Pune. I think I may be wrong, but this is what I vividly remember. Okay, so some people, they ask a lot of questions. Okay, I'm addicted to so and so thing. Maybe I'm addicted to porn, or maybe I'm addicted to watching this, or I'm addicted to doing that. Right? They asked something. How come I overcome it? How can we overcome it? I don't know whether he shared it here or whether he shared it in my house. I actually don't remember it. Then uncle said, the only way to overcome is we don't love God so much. That's why we are loving other things. We are not loving God so much. That's why we are getting addicted to other things actually. In other words, right? We don't fear God so much. We don't take that stand. Hey, I love my God. How can I do such a thing? How can I do such a thing? You must take a stand, isn't it? See, even in Garden of Eden also, right? God can choose not to keep that tree there, isn't it? He can choose, right? Yes or no? But He still kept it there because God has, when God created, He created us in His image. So He wants us to, have the same, like, the will what He has self will, right? So He wants us to restrain. He wants them to take the decision whether they want to do what they are supposed to do, like what Joshua did. What did Joshua did? He decided, me and my household, we will follow the Lord. I don't know what you will do. It's up to you. You take your own decision. So you have to decide yourself. Okay, if you want to be wise, or if you want to be wise in the worldly perspective, right? You go and read all kinds of stuff on the world. Okay, maybe anything. You go to library, you go to here, you go to there, read a lot of stuff. You will easily become wise. But to become wise in the sight of the Lord, the only condition is what is it? Fear of God. Fear of God. That is very, very, very important. And if you don't take a stand, that, oh, I should not do it because I fear God, you're not displaying the character. Maybe you are just like praying like a Parsi, right? He's telling, oh, I do this, I do that, I fast Sunday, I fast every week, or I do that, or I even give 10% of everything. But God don't care about all those things, isn't it? So you have to take that step. It is in your hands. You have to take the step. So when you're in a group, right, or when you are talking to someone, how you are displaying, the wisdom that God has given you. I think that is what that is what you have to do, right? See, I'll just quickly share one example and we'll close. We all know about this story, right? Not the story basically. We all know about this passage in Bible in Daniel, isn't it? Daniel chapter 2. So what happened there? I think you're all feeling sleepy, huh? No, that is chapter 1. As said, chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. Correct? So when he had a dream, he is nicely sleeping in his bedroom. Okay, and he got a dream and he forgot also. Isn't it? So with kings, anything is possible, right? They can do anything. So he nicely slept and he had a nice dream. God gave him a dream. And when he woke up, He visualized, he forgot his dream. Okay, so what he did, since he is a king, right? He can do anything. He said, okay. He called everyone. What he did, he called all the wise people and he made them, sat there. Maybe they might be thinking, oh, today we are going to have a feast because we are going to king's place. So maybe, we'll have a feast. Because normally what happens is, whenever in offices, right? If there is any CEO visit or if there is any senior management visit or something happens, right? Normally they'll have some food or I think town halls maybe I think you might have seen. There will be some food stuff, a lot of stuff will be there, some perks will be there. Here, I mean, many things will be there, right? So these wise people might be thinking, "Oh, today I'll go, I'll just spend some time there, I'll get nice meal, then I'll come back. Maybe they were thinking like that. So after they go there, what happened? The king threw a bomb. So he said, okay, all the wise men, now you tell me my dream. Maybe that's why you might have asked them, okay, tell me my dream, come on, tell me. Then everybody might be looking each other's face. Hey, what is this? He's just asking you to tell the dream, but what is the dream? He's asking us to explain the dream also, right? But what is the dream? Everybody might be seeing each other. The king is waiting. Come on, I'm waiting. Tell me quickly. What is my dream? What is the meaning of the dream? Then one smart one guy put he did and he asked the king, right? What did he ask? What did he ask? You tell us the dream, then we will interpret. Verse 7, chapter 2, verse 7. Please, who is awake, please read it quickly.
He answered again and said, let the king tell his servants this, and he will issue the interpretation of it.
See, they are telling, king, you tell us the dream, then only we can tell you the interpretation of it. But the king is very adamant, right? I don't care. You tell me my dream and my interpretation also. If you don't do that, there is no point in me hiring you, right? I'll let you kill every one of you. I'll get a fresh batch of this. Isn't it? I'll fire all of you, I'll hire again. So firing and hiring, right? So what he said, yeah, I give you some time. You go and I don't know what you do, what kind of mantra you do, you just go and come back with the dream and the interpretation. Then everybody said they raise their hands. In Telugu they say, "Chete Sarantapira." So what does it mean? I don't know what can we do. We don't know what to do. We cannot do anything. So if someone comes and asks you, tell me my dream and the interpretation, right? Mercy, can you tell? Cannot tell. Why? It's not easy, is it? No? But Sundar, can we tell that? No, right? So that is the worldly wisdom. The worldly wisdom is you must have the questions and the textbook behind it to read it to answer it. Isn't it? If not, you don't know anything. But see, what did the Daniel and his what did Daniel do? He asked, the person who is in charge, right, who is going to kill everyone, he went and asked, hey, what happened? Why suddenly, such a decree was given? See in verse 15.
He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the king
See, so Daniel is maybe I think he's not invited to that the town hall there, right? Everybody he was there. Maybe he except the Jewish people, the rest of the wise men were there. So, but Daniel was surprised. How come? Why you want to kill everyone? Why? Why you want to fire so many people? I don't understand. Tell me. Then they said, okay, this is what has happened. What? Sorry, the king forgot his dream. Okay, the king forgot his dream, but he wants his dream and his interpretation also. Then, what did Daniel do? You can tell me without looking at the text, without looking at the Bible. I think you all know the story. What did he do? Yeah, see, he went back to the Lord, just like what we saw in James chapter 1, verse 5, right? We know Daniel is the wisest person, isn't it? We all know, right? Is anyone who disagree here that Daniel is not wise? Because he got certificate from Nebuchadnezzar itself. That's why in chapter 1 he says, I want you to gather all the young men and train them, whoever is wise, I will keep them, in a good position, right? So he got the certificate from the king himself. So we cannot argue with it. He is wise. But what he did, Kripa? Yeah, very good. Maybe what he did. Yeah. Not only he asked his friends also to pray together with him. And so that God can help them, God can give them wisdom. How do you know God gave them wisdom? That is what we read here, right? In chapter 2, verse 20 onwards, right? When God revealed the dream and the interpretation to him, this is how Daniel is praising God. You see in chapter 20, verse 20, what is he saying? Blessed be the name of the Lord forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. So, wisdom is with him and might is with him. If you want wisdom, you have to go to the source. Correct? Yes or no? If you want to if you want to solve a problem, right? Always, you have to go to the root, isn't it? If you don't go to the actual source of the problem, right? You cannot say, for example, the doctor, right? If you just go there, if you have fever, if you just give you paracetamol, keep taking paracetamol, right? Without addressing the problem, what happens? Your disease will become worse. So what they do? They will observe. They will see what is the root cause of the problem. Where actually is it coming from? Is it because we have something problem with your liver or with your stomach, or something else, right? Oh, that's why you are showing this kind of details, right? You have fever, you have sick, you have backache and all, right? So the wisdom is with the God. He is the source. You have to go to the source and draw the power from Him. Now, you see here, right? I'll close it quickly here. I know we are verse 23. Anyone read loud?
I thank thee and praise thee, O thou God of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, and has made known unto me now what we desire of thee. For thou hast now made known unto us the things.
See, he prayed and his friends prayed. Then what happened? In verse 23, you can see God has given him the wisdom, isn't it? Did he went and when he didn't argue with the officer there, right? Hey, how come you do like this? It is unfair and all this. Did he argue like that? No, right? He said, "Give me time. Let me go and pray." He went to his room. He prayed, and God revealed him the secret. And you know what he said? He did. He didn't say, "I am the only wise man who know the dream and God." Like that. Did he say like that? Did he say like that? Yes or no, Ezra? Maybe rhythm. I'm making you awake. Huh? Okay? I'm just telling you, I know you're not sleeping, I'm just kidding you guys. Okay? So, what I'm telling is, he didn't took that glory to himself, but he never said he's wise. What he said, he always acknowledged it back to God. If you take in the normal human form, right? If you can answer what is in my heart, then what will you do? You are such a great person, isn't it? Is there anyone who can answer what is in your heart? Who know what is in your heart? At least your father does he know? Or your mother? Or nobody knows, only you know. Exactly that is the situation here. Only Nebuchadnezzar dreamt it, and he also forgot, unfortunately. Okay? And nobody in the world remembers it. But Daniel got to know what it is. And it is only through God. And because he feared God so much, God loved him and God delighted in him. And he didn't went and opened, all the old books thinking that okay, what could be this dream, what could be that dream. They never go back to the books at all, right? He went right to the feet of the Lord. They asked God, Lord help us. Lord help us. You open our eyes. You show us what it is. And God opened and God showed them what the dream is and the interpretation also, right? Then after that, what happened? If we are there, what will you do? Or what I do? I'll say, yes, I know. I know the answer, right? We'll say like that, isn't it? Yes, sir. If nobody in the class knows the answer, and only if you know the answer, what will you do? You'll feel so bright. I think you puffed up. Yeah, I know the answer. You'll raise it so high that it's too high, right? So, but what did Daniel did? He told, you see what he said? Verse 27, The secret which the king has demanded, the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, and the soothsayers cannot declare to the king. Verse 28. But there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets, and he has made known. So, in another words, what he is doing is he is giving glory to God. In humanly speaking, in the humans, if you speak in a normally, right, definitely Daniel is the wisest person, isn't it? Because he can able to tell the dream, he can able to tell the interpretation also, isn't it? There is no need for him to say, my God has revealed it to me. He can say, yes, I know. I'll answer. Let me answer. He can say like that, right? Yes or no? But he chose not to do that. He said, now is the time. Let me tell you why I know this. It is only because of my God. He wants to bring glory to God. That's why he's considered as the wisest person, right? Especially during that time. He's very wise in the king's courtyard. And he stayed for many with the few kings there, right? Even though kingdoms fell down, right? He's still there. He served until the future kings also. Why? Because God knows He is bringing glory to me. He is bringing glory to me. So at the end of the day, right, what we must remember is we also everybody wants to be wise. Nobody wants to be called a fool. Correct? Even the fool also wants to be called as wise. So, how to become wise? It's not like the becoming a speaking in a worldly aspect, right? What is wisdom in the sight of God? The only answer is the Bible says you must fear God. That is wisdom. That is the full stop. That is the definition of wisdom. Fear God. That is wisdom. Job chapter 28 and verse 28. Let's read it all together once. Job 28 and 28, and then we close. Job 28 and 28. Everyone read together. Behold the fear of the Lord, behold the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. So the definition is very clear. It is not about how many books you read, how many degrees you get, or how good and which good college you study. Okay, I think in Singapore, I think if you go and apply for PR or anything, right? I understand, they will look at what university you study. Yeah, they don't offer just like that actually. What I understand is there is a certain criteria actually. If you studied in so and so university, you get more points. If you study in a bit localized university, right, like maybe some XYZ university, like Guru Perule University, and another thing, so it's like then you are not considered wise or so great in the sight of the government, right? But God is not telling all those things actually. Yes, you may be coming from very local place, very local university or whatever it is, right? But if you have the fear of God, you can be above everyone. You can be above everyone. The only reason why God keeps you above everyone is, like Daniel, he expects you to bring glory to him. May the Lord help us.